This content is produced by DarkNetBreaker, a cybersecurity and dark web education brand. All videos, posts, and content are strictly for educational and awareness purposes only. We do not promote, support, or encourage any illegal activity. Our mission is to expose digital threats, protect online users, and educate the public about cybersecurity risks in the modern world. Stay ethical. Stay protected.
Every Darknet marketplace launches as a ticking clock. These platforms are designed from day one to facilitate a single terminal event, the final heist. Operating an illicit economy requires solving a pervasive logistical problem. Anonymous buyers and sellers dealing in narcotics, stolen data, and malware cannot verify one another's identities or intentions. A vendor can vanish with a payment, or a buyer can refuse to release funds once the goods arrive. The market administrator attempts to bridge this gap by acting as a third-party referee. They provide the infrastructure that holds the cryptocurrency in suspension until both parties signal that the deal is complete. This reliance on an anonymous criminal to secure millions of dollars in unregulated liquid assets creates a massive structural vulnerability. The security framework itself provides the perfect mechanism for the operators to eventually rob every user on the platform. Successful operators play a long game during the maturity phase. They invest years in maintaining the site and resolving disputes, building the vendor reputation and trust scores necessary to attract a massive active user base. Centralized escrow serves as the engine for this growth. The marketplace platform holds the buyer's cryptocurrency until delivery is verified, functioning as a temporary custodian for every transaction on the site. By requiring all capital to pass through internal wallets, the escrow system traps millions inside administrator-controlled addresses. While claiming to use multi-sig escrow, requiring multiple keys, they manipulate the interface, secretly routing coins into a single wallet controlled exclusively by the operator. Marketing these fake security features acts as a psychological trap. It provides a false sense of protection that encourages users to deposit larger amounts of capital, rapidly inflating the size of the vault. This manufactured legitimacy is a calculated mathematical strategy. Every 5-star review and resolved dispute is an investment designed to ensure the highest possible payout when the operators decide to vanish. The decision to close the market follows a cold economic logic. It occurs at the precise moment the total value of the held escrow balances exceeds the projected future income from platform commission fees. When this trigger is hit, the liquidation protocol begins. Administrators quietly disable the platform's withdrawal functions, while leaving all deposit channels and storefronts fully operational. Operators gaslight their community during this phase, blaming delayed withdrawals on blockchain congestion, database errors, or emergency server upgrades to protect against hackers. Unlike the sudden blackout of a law enforcement seizure, an administrator-led scam is a slow, agonizing deception. Buyers continue to fund their accounts, and vendors continue to ship goods, unknowingly inflating the final haul for the thieves. This fabricated delay creates a window for the operators to systematically drain the vault and route the stolen cryptocurrency through mixers and cross-chain bridges before the users realize the site is dead. The collapse of incognito market in early 2024 represents a particularly malicious evolution of this strategy. An administrator known as Pharaoh oversaw a global narcotics empire that facilitated over $100 million in transactions before he triggered the liquidation of his site. Pharaoh went beyond simply stealing the escrowed funds. He began actively extorting his own vendors, threatening to hand over their complete transaction logs and private messages to law enforcement unless they paid an additional ransom. The investigation eventually identified Pharaoh as Ru Xianglin, a 23-year-old employee at the Taiwanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs. His government role actually involved training law enforcement personnel in the very blockchain analytics used to track him. The heist ended in May 2024, when U.S. authorities arrested Lin while he was transiting through JFK Airport in New York. The sophisticated nature of these platforms often breeds a sense of untouchable power in their operators. But even the most technically proficient Darknet admins eventually succumb to the arrogance of their own engineered systems. The technological foundation of these markets contains a fatal flaw that turns the operator's exit strategy into a forensic trap. Criminals choose the blockchain for its independence from traditional banks, but that same technology functions as an unalterable public ledger. Every move made on the network is recorded permanently. When an operator consolidates thousands of scattered escrow accounts into a personal wallet, They create massive visible patterns on the blockchain. Analytics firms track these flows through digital mixers, following the money directly to exchange accounts where criminals cash out. This immutable trail bypasses the anonymity of the dark web entirely, handing investigators the evidence needed for federal indictments and real-world prosecutions. The mechanism used to steal the funds becomes the permanent record that ensures the operator's destruction. The removal of one operator rarely ends the cycle. The collapse of a marketplace does not destroy the demand for contraband, it merely shifts it to a new location. Betrayed buyers and vendors, anxious to resume their trade, immediately migrate their remaining capital and operations to the next surviving competitor. This sudden influx of liquidity bloats the new market, creating a surge in volume that immediately identifies the next law enforcement target. Transacting on any Darknet platform is a gamble on the operator's internal timeline. Users are essentially trusting a criminal not to hit their exit price. There is no such thing as a reliable illicit market. There are only platforms that haven't calculated that their current balance is worth more than their future reputation. The architecture of the Darknet is not built for the protection of its users. It is mathematically engineered to eventually rob them.